Ain't nobody, they can't fire me. I make too much money to get fired. So they can't fire me. First of all, they fire me, they got to pay me for 7 years, and I'm gonna quit way before then. But if they want to fire me, I would love for them to do that.
I want you to win, but I don't want you to win more than me. Now I see if you win more than me, now I got to question your sexuality.
Yeah.
I got to question, how black are you? Because, bro, I'm like, come on, man. I mean,
but that's cause you fools on other networks, which we gonna become fools next year. We be working on that network. But Oklahoma City and the Cavs been balling for 6 months.
So it looks like there's some wild drama bubbling up behind the scenes, and it might finally explain why Charles Barkley is suddenly making bold power plays at ESPN, while Shannon Sharpe looks like he's caught in a downward spiral right in the middle of the chaos. At first, folks chalked it up to timing. Shannon stepping back, Chuck stepping in. Just coincidence? But nope. Things just got messier. Leaked audio and hushed up whispers are pointing to something way deeper. Jealousy, sabotage, and maybe even a backroom plan that totally flopped. Word on the street is Shannon Sharpe might have secretly tried to block Barkley's ESPN deal, right when his own career was cracking under pressure from that headline-making lawsuit and a bunch of slip-ups off camera. Now here's where it really starts heating up. Despite Barkley dropping controversial takes, acting wild off script.
I've been telling y'all that for 2 months. Hey, ESPN, I love you guys. Don't try to make Anthony Edwards the face of the NBA. The face of the NBA is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Joker, and Giannis. You can't give it to people, they have to take it.
And even throwing shots at ESPN itself. The network's still rolling out the red carpet for him. No suspensions, no drama, just big love from the bosses. So, what's really going on? Why is ESPN backing Chuck so hard while slowly pushing Shannon off to the side? Was Shannon trying to get him fired for real? Insiders close to ESPN are saying Shannon hasn't been too happy ever since Barkley started popping up more often on their turf. See, Chuck's got that no-filter charm, a history of being blunt, and fans love him. When TNT lost NBA rights, ESPN swooped in, and Barkley looked like the perfect catch. But behind the scenes, sources say Shannon was feeling the heat. On top of all that, Shannon's been dealing with serious backlash ever since that lawsuit dropped, reportedly from a woman just barely into adulthood. People close to the situation say he could feel the walls closing in, and with Chuck being rumored to land a bigger role, Shannon allegedly tried to keep him out by any means necessary. That's right, sabotage. Some say he tried passing along Barkley's dirt to the higher-ups, hoping they'd drop him. Shannon was apparently whispering about Chuck's past problems, hoping it'd scare the suits at ESPN, but it backfired. Big time. And here's the real kicker. The stuff Shannon tried to dig up, it wasn't even buried deep. Barkley's controversies? They're fresh, public, and loud, but ESPN ain't budging. They're riding with Chuck no matter what. Let's rewind a bit. Back in 2022, Charles Barkley locked in a massive 10-year, $210 million deal with TNT. Huge bag, right? But here's the twist. Even with that deal, Chuck straight up told everyone he wasn't sticking around that long. Maybe 2 more years tops. He's about that work-life balance and refuses to grind himself into the ground for any network. And just to make it crystal clear, Chuck took a slick shot at how ESPN runs its crew. He said, "I ain't gonna be working like no dog, like Stephen A. Smith." Boom. That wasn't just a throwaway line. That was Barkley drawing a bold line in the sand, letting the world know he ain't signing up for that non-stop ESPN hustle. Now you'd think after all that shade, ESPN would rethink letting him in the door, right? But nah, they're still all in. Nope. ESPN still rolled out the red carpet for Charles Barkley, gave him his own space in their NBA lineup, creative control, the whole package. And here's the kicker. Barkley doesn't even like the direction ESPN's taking the inside the NBA vibe. He's worried they're gonna suck the soul right out of it. Too many ads, too much structure, and not enough real talk. And guess what? It's not just fans sweating this move. Sports media heads, critics, even Chuck himself are calling it out. People are saying it out loud now. ESPN might ruin the magic. Let's be real. ESPN's been known to get too polished, too stiff, and way too caught up in pushing a clean-cut narrative. TNT, they let Chuck be himself. no leash. But ESPN, they like to trim down big personalities, force them into a script, have them reading prompters and keeping things on brand. That's not Charles Barkley. He already dragged one TNT pilot, called it the stupidest ish I've ever seen. And he didn't say that off the record. He said it loud for everybody to hear. Most people, you say something like that and you're out of there. But Chuck, still locked in, still good. Even after blasting ESPN for hyping up Anthony Edwards as the league's next big star before he even proved himself in clutch moments, Chuck got no suspension, no heat, no nothing, just kept it pushing like nothing ever happened. Now flip it. Imagine being Shannon Sharpe in this whole mess. Word was he was about to sign a $100 million deal. Huge. But then, boom, the lawsuit drops. He fumbles on IG Live. Rumors start flying about behind-the-scenes drama at ESPN, and while Shannon's catching all the heat, Barkley strolls in, throws shade at the company, and still gets promoted, gets protected, gets praised. Yeah. Now it's making sense why Shannon might be heated. The way ESPN's treating the two of them, it's loud, clear favoritism, and it gets even messier. Because once Barkley allegedly found out Shannon was trying to block his ESPN deal, that's when he hit the mic and started saying he's too expensive and can't be fired. Wild, and no, this ain't made up, it really happened. Now let's get into the part people keep dancing around, that $50 million lawsuit. A woman named Gabriella Zinga came forward accusing Shannon of some serious misconduct and threats, saying she was barely of age when their alleged relationship started. We don't have the full picture, that's facts, but the lawsuit hit hard and fast. And to make it worse, just weeks before it dropped, Shannon went live on Instagram and forgot to log off. What got caught on camera? Let's just say it didn't help his case. The footage had folks raising eyebrows, and the audio, even though it wasn't clear, people were already putting the pieces together. It looked bad. Shannon even admitted, "I'm extremely embarrassed," calling it a private and intimate situation gone wrong. But the damage was already done. Social media had a field day. One person commented, "Shannon Sharpe ruined his own career, and he has no one to blame but himself." Another wasn't buying any of it, saying, "Someone else Shannon's allegedly blaming for his fall." Yup, Shaquille O'Neal. Here comes the twist no one saw coming. Shaq and Barkley are both gearing up to slide into Shannon's old spot at ESPN. TNT may have lost the NBA rights, but those two, they landed on their feet, and they're sitting exactly where Shannon thought he'd be. Now, if you've been peeping the tension, this one's been brewing for a while. Shannon and Shaq got history, low-key beef stretching back years, little digs on air, shady lines in interviews, and slick IG shots. Nothing explosive, but definitely cold. But now, it's looking like Shaq might have played the long game. An audio leak just dropped a few weeks ago, allegedly catching Shaq talking to a known media fixer, someone whose whole job is to dig up dirt on public figures. Yeah, it's getting real shady. Sources say Charles Barkley's name is everywhere behind the scenes at ESPN. He's showing up all over their internal pitch decks, being packaged as the everyman voice of the NBA. The guy who can cut through the corporate noise, speak his mind, keep it real, and still rake in ad dollars like a pro. And that's exactly where the tension is getting heavy. Instead of fixing his own image, Shannon's allegedly trying to play defense, but not in a smart way. Word is, he's going after Barkley behind closed doors. But to the people watching, it's not looking strategic, it's looking desperate. And that desperation, it's loud. So what's next? Charles Barkley's locked in. He's already made it clear he's got maybe a couple more years in him before he calls it quits. But until then, he's gonna ride this ESPN wave all the way to the bank, soaking up the spotlight and stacking up that cash. And trust, he ain't losing sleep over Shannon. Meanwhile, Shannon's stuck in a real tough spot. If he doesn't make a major pivot soon and find a way to put that lawsuit behind him, this could be the start of a serious downfall. No matter how you spin it, the energy around him is shifting. Once on top, now it's giving fall from grace. But let's keep it real. This doesn't have to be the end for him. Shannon's still got a name. He's got loyal fans, and if he can shake the controversy and rebuild his rep, he might just pull a comeback, something like what Joe Budden did when people counted him out. But one thing's for sure, that ESPN seat he's holding might not be his for much longer. So now the real question is, was Shannon Sharpe actually trying to take down Charles Barkley? Or is this just a messy distraction to shift eyes off his own slip-ups? And what about ESPN? Are they making the right move putting all their chips on Chuck? Most importantly, does Shannon have a comeback left in him? Or has he officially fumbled the bag for good? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this drama's heating up fast, and we definitely gotta talk about it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you stay locked in. Because in the media world, one wrong step and it's game over.